So my friends, in today's video we're looking at 4 of the hottest projectors that money can buy in 2025. They are the Nebula X1, the Valerion VisionMaster Max, the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max, and the Valerion VisionMaster Pro 2. So which one will come out on top? Well, you're not going to have to wait long because I'm going to start off with the final scores. And I've looked at all of these different categories: connectivity, design, remote control, portability, daylight viewing, night viewing, features, operating system, fan noise, and gaming. And clear winner out on top is the Valerion VisionMaster Max. But as you'll see from the scoring, all of these projectors are fantastic and they would be pride of place in anyone's home. And there are some use case scenarios, which is why you would choose one over the other. Okay, we're going to start off with connectivity. And with the Valerions, well, they're just by far the better connected. So they both came out with full 10 points. And with the others, with only 2 HDMI ports, they've got 9 points. So it was quite clear the 2 winners are the Valerions. When it came to design, I think this is much more subjective and it's much more down to the use case scenario. So I've scored them all 10 out of 10. The Projector's build quality on all 4 of these models is just insanely good. The level of detail is stunning and the build quality and the materials used are absolutely top rate. Now onto remote controls. Well, the 2 Valerion machines win. They've both got the same remote control and they've got far more functions than the others. But again, the others are still backlit and it's pretty close. Portability, in my opinion, only 2 of these are really portable. You've got the X1 from Nebula, which you can carry anywhere and position as you wish, and with the XGIMI you can pop it up on a shelf or have it pointing to the ceiling very simply. Now I've added this in just as a separate measure, but all of the projectors have got incredible sharpness. The quality of the lenses that are being used on these projectors is absolutely top rate. Now when it came to daylight viewing, all 4 of these projectors definitely are very watchable in a bright room. What I did find though is that the colours on the Valerions definitely were a step above the Nebula X1 and the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max. However, if you're looking for just pure brightness alone, then I found the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max was the brightest in a light room condition. Now what I would say though is that the Valerions definitely seem to be the most colour accurate and most true to life for the actual footage that I took. With the VisionMaster Max, I had the iris set to 4, which I felt was about the right level of balance between getting the extra darkness and contrast and not losing too much of the brightness. And likewise with the Nebula X1, I had it set to medium. The other 2 don't have that facility on them. The XGIMI Horizon 20 Max did sometimes seem a little bit oversaturated in terms of its colours, and certainly a lot less accurate to what the actual footage was, whereas the Valerion VisionMaster Max, it really did just look almost identical to the exact same footage that I took. And with the Nebula X1, well, it was probably somewhere in between. And I think you are getting a little bit more brightness with the VisionMaster Max, but whether that's enough to make you spend the extra money is down to you. Now, in my opinion, when it came to darker scenes, there was one clear winner. That was the Valerion VisionMaster Max, because it just performed brilliantly in terms of black levels, whereas on some of the others, it almost had a blue tint to it rather than black. And with that iris control, you could definitely see the better balance between the black levels and also the highlights. The other thing for me was consistency. The Valerion VisionMaster Max was by far the most consistent out of the lot of them. Whereas sometimes the Nebula X1 looked amazing, there were other scenes where it didn't, and the XGIMI performed in a similar way, so that was a bit confusing. And I do have to say that those of you that are on a budget, well, you might just want to look at what is the best deal available, because there were plenty of scenes where there just didn't seem to be that much difference between them at all, or the margins were just so low. The one consistent right across the board though was that the Valerion VisionMaster Max came out on top, as you would expect it to. It's by far the highest price point of all of these projectors, and it's just whether those extras that it has, and I'll come on to features in a second, it's whether that's worth it to you. If you're wanting the best home cinema projector, well then definitely the Valerion VisionMaster Max is the one. So although this is not an exhaustive list of all of the features of these projectors, these are some of the things that you may want to bear in mind depending on your use case. With the Nebula X1, you have got that motorized lens and spatial adaptation, which I'll show you in a second. The iris control is great on it. It definitely is something which I didn't expect. Having those optional speakers which you can add makes this brilliant if you're going to be the type of person that takes it outside. Now there's 2 features on the VisionMaster Max which really do justify that extra price, and that's going to be if you actually need them. Interchangeable lenses is a feature which is going to be coming next year, and that is going to make this a lot more flexible. The RBE reduction feature could be a game changer if you're the type of person that does suffer from rainbow effect on these DLP projectors, because it just eliminates it. It is absolutely stunning how it works. And a feature which is coming next year, which again will make this a lot more flexible of a projector, is the interchangeable lenses. So that's something to bear in mind for future proofing. The XGIMI has the benefit of vertical and horizontal lens shift, and it also has dynamic black level enhancement, which worked brilliantly some of the time, but it did give inconsistent results. It's also great for gaming. Now, the red ring lens is their new lens, and it's the one that's only available on the Horizon 20 Pro and the 20 Max. It is incredible and it's very, very sharp, but in all honesty, I didn't notice it being any sharper or any better than any of the other lenses on all of these projectors. And with the VisionMaster Pro 2, well, that's probably going to be the one that the most people say, well, I'll compromise and I'll go for that, because it doesn't really compromise that much. And some of the features on the Max that you get, well, they're going to be down to a certain person. You are getting a better picture quality, but it's whether it's that much better to justify you spending your hard-earned money. But that, my friends, is just down to you. So this is the spatial adaptation on the Nebula, and the fact that you've got that motorized lens again adds to its flexibility. With optical zoom, it works brilliantly. The lens shift on the VisionMaster Max again is a bit of a game changer and not something that you'll get on the VisionMaster Pro 2. And again, that has got optical zoom, as has the VisionMaster Pro 2. And with the Horizon 20 Max, again, that has got the feature of lens shift, and also that being horizontal and also vertical, which again is great. Here you can see the advertised noise level with all of the projectors compared to what I actually got in a reading. Now, it may well be that the Nebula X1 was just that there was a little bit more ambient noise in the room. I certainly didn't notice it being noisy at all. They are all almost silent. Now, when it came to the operating system, they all run Google TV, but there was one which just was a little bit lower than the others. In fact, it was a lot lower because it was buggy and a bit laggy, and that was the Nebula X1, which is really frustrating because it's such a great projector, but it did get a little bit annoying whilst using it. And finally, let's look at gaming. All four of these are very, very capable gaming machines, and for the average gamer, you probably won't notice that much difference between them. But for me, the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max does stand a little bit, maybe just a head above the others, because it does have incredible input lag, the lowest of all of these projectors, and it also has the ability to support variable refresh rate, which is something which the others don't. Now, as I go into a little bit more detail about my final scores, please do bear in mind that it is just my opinion and it's based on my use case. For instance, the X1 Nebula, the operating system, I marked that very low because it was buggy and it did get frustrating. However, if I was going to be using an Apple TV plugged into it, well then that wouldn't be as relevant. And on the flip to that, if I wanted to be using my projector outdoors, for instance, occasionally, well then portability might be one of my main buying concerns. And so therefore the others would score lower. So you do have to look at these different categories and then judge it based on your own use case. But I feel that this is a fair reflection of everything each of the projectors can do. And as you can see, three of them are very, very close, with the Valerion Pro 2 just edging the other two, and then out in front, because it really just didn't let me down on anything maybe other than portability, which I really don't think that this is the type of projector that you'd be moving around anyway, but that's what dropped it points. And on the gaming, I just scored it a 9 because the XGIMI 20 Max is the better gaming machine. Other categories that you might want to consider is value for money, based on what you can buy each one of these projectors for at the given time that you're in the market to buy one. You might also want to look at other things like, what do you do on your projector? Is it mainly a gaming machine? Well, then gaming will score higher. And if you're just looking for a great all-rounder, well, then you want to look at the one that did the best on all-round and maybe has a bit of value for money thrown in for good measure. So I'll leave details of the latest promotions for all of these projectors in the description so that you can check out the best value at the time, and I'll do another video closer to holiday season when you can see which are offering the best value for money. That's it for this video, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are on these four projectors. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.